But there is a better way forward. We can have trade agreements that include all of you. That include all of you and lift up every worker around the globe. They can't keep on going, pitting workers in the United States against workers in other countries and driving our wages here and driving wages all over the place. We can do it better. Just imagine this. I said this last time we had a rally here. Trade agreements are choices. When you walk into an elevator, you get a choice. Either you press a button up or down. Unfortunately, from NAFTA to CAFTA to SHAFTA to everything else, our government has been pushing the button down on us, and now we said enough is enough. 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 So, brothers and sisters, I'm an organizer. And since I have you here, I can't just quit here. When we're happy here, there are millions of Americans who are being terrorized. If you have an accent like mine and you have a skin tone like mine, these days are scary days. So I'm going to ask you this. With every fervor
to see this exhibit?
So
and we're going to stand against hate, whether it's folks outside the sexism and discrimination cannot be tolerated on our watch. It's not a 21st century thing. We just not gonna do it. But sisters and brothers, I am here to reaffirm for you this afternoon that there is promise in the problem. Say promise in the problem. Promise in the problem. And the promise is that we hashtag stay woke now. If we were not awake then, we are shown up awake now. And so, yeah, I see a sign over there that says love trumps hate, and it does, and we better make sure that we do that, because sisters and brothers, I have seen some folks on our side do some hateful things too. And so if we're going to just talk about the other side, we better self-check our side as well. Oh my God. Sisters and brothers, I'm a God-fearing woman. I call on Black Jesus often. God knows during this campaign I called on Black Jesus many times. But I just got to tell you something, that it brings me immense joy to introduce my sister, Representative Tulsi Gabbard. Can I just say this? Can I just say this? A sister held it down. Not only does she hold it down in the Congress, it was my honor to be on the road with her as a Bernie surrogate like no other. I'm talking about a sister who is a combat veteran. Can I get an amen? A sister that knows how to pack a pistol. Can I get an amen? Who knows how to use her gifts, her skills, and her abilities to lift this country, and who understands the seriousness of making sure that we don't have folks making arbitrary decisions about war because there's flesh and blood tied to that. She stood up. She continues to stand. She just won re-election, and oh my God, can you guys give a Bernie Sanders warm feeling the burn welcome for Representative Tulsi Gabbard?
Aloha. Let's get some aloha here in this
beautiful day, it is wonderful to be here with you. I'm amongst family, right? We are reunited in victory, in joy, in respect, in resilience, and in love. It's a beautiful day. We don't have many of those beautiful days here in Washington. So thank you all for coming and bringing your hearts to celebrate this victory. So many people, as they look at Washington, feel as though Washington is out of touch, that Washington does not feel the pain of their everyday challenges, that Washington does not hear their plight. And unfortunately, yes, we do. We're here. This is why it's so important for us to recognize this moment, because we don't have very many of them, unfortunately, but that is going to change, because we have shown the power of the people and what is possible in killing this destructive trade deal. Stopping the TPP is an important win. It brought people from the east to the west, the north to the south, from Hawaii to Maine, and from everywhere else, coming together with one united goal, a recognition and a love for our people and for our planet, and care and passion and commitment for a better and brighter future. We stood together, bringing voice to our brothers and sisters whose lives have already been devastated from previous trade deals that put. We have the ability to make a difference, preventing bad policies from passing and really truly bringing about positive change. That must be our goal going forward. We must be mission focused on this goal, and we must continue to stand together united, putting the people first, putting our working families first, putting our environment first, putting our future first. This is a big victory. We know that this will not be the last destructive trade deal that is proposed. So as we celebrate this moment, let us not be complacent. We must hold leaders here at our nation's capital accountable, making sure that the people's voice continues to be heard as we continue this worthy fight. I am privileged and proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with all of you, thanking National Nurses United, CWA, ATU, AFL-CIO, our leaders in labor, our leaders in this wonderful movement, and all of you activists who are the heart and soul and backbone and are the ones who made this possible. Thank you for all of you do. Have a wonderful time. Aloha.
Aloha! Man, I thank Representative Gabbard for that. Now, she said some stuff. She said we got to hold folks accountable. And in order to hold folks accountable, that is something that you have to put some sweat equity in on a regular basis. Our Secretary-Treasurer is a great advocate for working rights and building the labor movement. Can we give an ATU welcome to Secretary-Treasurer Owens?
It's kind of hard when you have to follow great speakers that you have just heard. But I going to try to fulfill their duty that I have been selected to do. First of all, let me add my voice and the ATU to those who say thank you for all of your hard work in stopping the TPP. It was organizing around the world that brought this victory against a bad job-killing trade agreement. It was our organizing of people that fight for their own best interests that made the politicians finally listen. The people united. The people united will never be defeated. We have all heard the slogan, an injury to one is an injury to all. All of our lives are at risk of being dismantled. Don't you forget that. We have fought for civil rights so that everyone is treated equally and fairly. We have fought for a fair immigration system that respects, not tear families apart. We have fought to protect the woman's right to choose. We have fought to build the unions which brought us the 8-hour day, the weekends, pensions, health care, collective bargaining protections. We have fought for universal health care, understanding it is a right, not a privilege. We have fought discrimination on all fronts, whether it was based on sex, religion, race, sexual orientation, or ethnicity. We have fought to protect our planet for ourselves, our children, and for the future generations. We have fought to get big money out of politics. We have fought for global warming and fracking. We have stood strong and will continue to stand with the Rock Sioux in their fight to stop the Dakota Access Pipeline. Threatened with undoing in a Trump administration. Remember that, brothers and sisters. Take heed to what I'm saying to you. All of these fights pale in comparison to whether Muslim, Christian, or Jew. whether black, white, or brown, whether gay, or not. And the list goes on, brothers and sisters, of what we are facing in the future. We cannot allow them to divide us, because that's what Trump and the bosses are dependent on. When they attempt to divide us, if we stay together, we will win. When we the people are united, we always win. The times ahead of us will be the roughest. To you, we're going to need everyone here to join us in our fight for public transit, which is slated for termination by Donald Trump and the Republican Party. In unity, brothers and sisters, there is strength. And if we live by the credo that an injury to all is an injury to one is an injury to all. And let us support one another. And brothers and sisters, if we stick together, we will win. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. The dream lives on. The dream lives on. And the dream shall never die. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Owens. Give him another round of applause. Secretary Treasurer, I bring up another sister in the struggle, Sister Liz Powell, who's the Secretary Treasurer of the American Postal Workers Union. Have you hugged a postal worker today? She is committed to the struggle to justice, dignity, and respect. Show her some love. Hey! We can do any doggone thing we want to do. APWU is proud to have been one of the unions in the early on that supported Senator Bernie Sanders for president. We believed in him, and when they tell me that he went out and energized those young people, which I am one of, I just love it. So without further ado, sisters and brothers, he has a busy schedule. God bless you. Keep up the fight. Stand together. Stand strong. And we will win this fight. See, the sisters get the memo. You know, the brothers don't get the memo, but the sisters got the memo. You know? Oh, my God. I'm feeling the burn. You feeling it? Say to you, I gotta bring up our executive director. of the United Nurses. All right. Or National, I keep changing the name. Love you too.
It's so good to be here with all of you. I just have to say thank you, labor movement, for turning out so strongly here. It's so good to be all together, right? Thank you. Thank you all the political groups that are out here. And so, I know you're all here. Gosh, look at all of this. I mean, and the nurses, obviously. Yeah. The quiet. Also raise the hopes of America. And if there's one man who's leading millions of people, and I don't care if you're a Clinton supporter now or a Trump supporter or we're a Bernie supporter, we're a movement, right? We're a movement, and we're going to change this country. It isn't about who's in the White House. It's about who's in the street. And he stood strong for us, and when he went out on the road and we started our campaign, he didn't know, we didn't know, but we all were there, that there was such a deep, deep, deep longing for his message. He did a beautiful job. I love this man. I respect this man. The nurses are 1,000% behind Bernie Sanders. Just know that.
A whole lot of great speakers and people who have been active in the progressive movement for their whole lives. I don't know how much I can add to what they said, but let me just say a few things. Number one, please do not forget, Donald Trump goes into the White House having lost the popular vote by 2 million votes. Number two, on every important issue facing the American people, whether it is raising the minimum wage to a living wage, whether it is pay equity for women, whether it is rebuilding our crumbling infrastructure and creating millions of good-paying jobs, whether it is making public colleges and universities where But one of the reasons that he won is, in my view, a failure of the Democratic Party has got to recognize that I'm now not here to blame anybody, not to criticize anybody, but facts are facts. When you lose the White House to the least popular candidate in the history of America, when you lose the Senate, when you lose the House, and when 2/3 of governors in this country are Republicans, it is time for a new direction for the Democratic Party. It is time. No, that's not Bernie. No. It really is not. No, I mean this very sincerely. I appreciate your love, and it is mutual. It is mutual. I love you all. And we are motivated by love, unlike some who are motivated by hatred. But brothers and sisters, if there's any message I have today, it is not Bernie, it is all of us together. Point number one, if we are going to go forward successfully, the Democratic Party has got to recognize some very important realities that Donald Trump, in fact, did recognize. And that is, yes, we are better off today economically than we were 8 years ago. We made a lot of progress in a lot of areas. But, there are millions of people today, working class people, middle class people, low income people who are living in despair. And we have got to recognize that reality. I want you to think for a moment. Think about a woman in New York City earning fairly good income, $50,000 a year. She's paying $15,000 for child care. She can't afford it. Talk about the worker in Vermont who's not working one job. He's working 2 or 3 jobs to cobble together the income he needs in order to take care of his family. Think about the person who went into debt to go to college, has a degree, and is now making $12 an hour, $60,000 in debt. Think about half of the older workers in America, 55, 60, 65 years of age, who are going into retirement, who have zero money in the bank as they head into retirement. Talk about the millions of workers who are trying to get by a $9, $10, $11 an hour. Talk about the senior citizens and the disabled veterans who are trying to get by at $11,000 or $12,000 a year. Talk about the elderly people who are cutting their pills in half because they cannot afford the outrageous prices that the pharmaceutical industry is charging us. Talk about and think about millions of people who are living in despair, who are turning to alcohol, drugs, and suicide as a solution to where they are today. There is a lot of pain in America. Capitol Hill doesn't understand it. We do. And we are going to reach out to those brothers and sisters and work with them to transform this country. I have not the slightest doubt that millions of people voted for Donald Trump despite their understanding that he is a racist and a sexist. But they voted for him because they believed that he was going to stand up to the establishment. Well, the truth is, as all of you know, Donald Trump is not going to stand up to the establishment. We are going to stand up to the establishment. We are going to take on Wall Street and their greed and their illegal behavior. Thank you, Occupy Wall Street. We are going to take on the insurance companies and the drug companies and fight for a Medicare for all single-payer program. We are going to take on corporate America and fight for trade policies that work for working people in this country, not just the CEOs of large corporations. There is an area that we will not compromise one iota. We will not compromise on the issues of racism, on sexism, on xenophobia and Islamophobia. You know, everybody here knows, in a democracy, we disagree with our neighbors, we disagree with our wives and our husbands. That's America. Okay, that's good. We can disagree on public policy. But this country, as all of you know, for hundreds of years, we have fought and so many brave people have died in the struggle, or been beaten, or went to jail, to fight against the horrific policies that were put in place against our Native American brothers and sisters, against our African American brothers and sisters, against the Latino brothers and sisters. 100 years ago today, women did not have the right to vote, could not get the education or the jobs that they wanted, but millions of women and their male allies stood up and demanded fundamental change. Women will not be second-class citizens in this country. And we all know the struggle that the LGBT community struggled for to make certain that all people in this country have the right to marry whomever they want, regardless of gender. We have struggled to move forward and have made real success in making this country a less discriminatory society. We all know too much racism and sexism exists, but we should be proud of the progress we have made. Donald Trump, we are not going back. And there is another issue that cannot be compromised because the future of the planet depends upon it. Donald Trump thinks that climate change is a hoax. Donald Trump is dangerously wrong on that vitally important issue. Donald Trump has got to start listening to the scientific community and not just the fossil fuel industry. Brothers and sisters, there is a lot of anguish across the land, and a lot of pain, and a lot of fear. But as previous speakers have told you, and what I believe, if you look at history, the lesson that you learn is that when ordinary people stand up by the millions, when they don't let demagogues divide us up by race or by our sexual orientation, whether we're men or women, whether we're born in this country or come from abroad, when we stand together and keep our eyes on the prize, when we focus on economic justice, when we focus on social justice, racial justice, environmental justice, when we stand together, Donald Trump and nobody is going to stop us. Let's go forward together. Thank you all.